Hi there. Now we are ready for lesson um, 9, I think. I think this is lesson 9. But anyway, we're discussing the 7 and the 8, the suits for each, what that number means to each suit. In the last video, I had it backwards, so we'll get it right this time. 7 and 8. So let's go ahead and get started. Swords, 7 of Swords. I don't like this card either. It means that there is conflict and one must be careful of deception. So either someone else is deceiving them or they may be the one doing the deceiving. In any case, remember that karma is lurking around. The advice is that if they are being deceived, their intuition has already begun to warn them of the deceptor, and they need to listen to their intuition. When I see this card, I see this guy. He's holding all the swords there, and he's leaving some swords behind, and it's like a campground with tents. That there's been some work done or something has been greatly accomplished. It could be a partner, husband, boyfriend, friend, work, whatever. But I see him as the villain, and you have to be really careful because this card is warning you that somebody is deceiving you. And the thing is that every time I read for somebody and this card pops up and I tell them, somebody, I don't know what's going on, but there's somebody in your world or your life that is deceiving you. Don't know if it's a friend, boyfriend, husband, job, whatever. And they'll start telling me the situation. And they already felt it. So a lot of times in reading tarot, you're just confirming what the person already knows anyway. But it's always good that they get that discernment and confirmation from somebody else that they don't even know. So this is, he's like running away. He's deceiving. He's very deceitful. He's full of lies. The swords. He's carrying the swords because the swords are representing conflict, and he's creating conflict. You have to decide how you're going to deal with the conflict. I'm going to tell you how I work with conflict. It happens all the time. If somebody brings conflict or drama into my life, I just cut them off. We're done. It just takes one time, one lie, one time for them to treat me in a bad way, and we're done. And I say that because I figure they're going to do it again. This person that's doing the deceiving, their intentions, their heart is not in the right place. And you have to choose whether or not you want to continue to be around that person and to cut that tie with the person. Sometimes I get this a lot, especially when somebody's just met a guy and she's wanting to know, maybe she met him online or something, and she's wanting to know about him, and a lot of times this card will pull up because maybe he's married or he's got somebody else on the side or whatever. He's telling her, he's giving her all kinds of promises and bullshit. But that's what that card is about. We have the 7 of Wands next. So things are not going as you had visioned, maybe. Maybe you started a job or a new project in your work. And this happens all the time to me. I'll be laying in bed late at night and I have a vision of something to create. And I go to create it and it doesn't turn out anything like what I had visioned. Especially with sewing, I'll go to create a pattern or something and it turns out very wonky. There may be something you need to go back to and do a little tweaking. That's what that means. but you are making more progress than you realize, and it's not time to throw in the towel. Yeah, there are some times when you may be working on a project and it's like you're beating a dead horse, and it's not working. So yeah, that's the time to stop. But when you're making progress, you realize it's not time to throw in the towel. Keep working on this and make adjustments where they are needed. We may start out with a vision, but over the course of time, we begin to see it change, and we are so blinded in keeping the vision going and how we first saw it. You got to be open to adjustments. Good example, these tarot classes. I started the tarot classes a little over a month ago, and in the beginning they were good. I mean, people were coming. I would have like 5 or 6 students sometimes. And the weekend of Memorial Day, I didn't have any students. And I thought, well, it's Memorial Day and the weather was really crappy. And then the next weekend, no students. And then the third weekend, I had 1 student, and she pointed out something. She and I were talking about it because she's been a regular student, and she pointed out something to me that made a lot of sense. And it was like, a lot of people come to this class thinking they're going to get it all in one class. They don't realize that there's more classes, and the ones that keep coming, those are the ones that are really invested. Those are the ones that really want to learn. So I had to tweak that. I really had to think about it, because I had already tweaked this to doing these videos for Patreon or through Patreon and offering it. And I had some of my students sign up, with this, which was great. But the ones that didn't sign up, I mean, it doesn't matter what their reasons were, but if they didn't sign up, or the ones that didn't continue to come, that told me that maybe they weren't ready, maybe they didn't want to put that much of an investment into it. There could be all kinds of reasons. So I had to tweak it to fit where I'm at, and to make it more profitable and beneficial for me as in regards to my time. So I decided, okay, I'm not going to do the classes anymore. I'm not going to hold classes at the little coffee shop anymore. I'm just going to do the Patreon, and people can just sign up. So that's what this means. It's like, sometimes if something's not working out, it might have been working out good in the beginning, and as time goes on, things change, and you have to be able to change with what's going on. So you got to tweak it. The 7, okay, we're in the Pentacles, the next one. You've seen some growth in your finances. The 7 of Pentacles is where we're at, okay? But it appears that it might not be as much as you had hoped for. And that's okay. You begin to question, is this really what you want to do? Is it really worth it? And you wonder if maybe you took the wrong path or made a wrong decision. This card encourages you to hang in there. The money is coming. You got to stick with it. So again, it could also be about making changes. You've made a lot of progress. You're making, the finances are there. They're coming. Continue to tweak. Continue to keep working on it. Be open to any changes that you feel you might need to make. And you might make changes that don't work. I mean, some things work, some things don't. I mean, honestly, I've been working on doing the tarot classes for several years. Oh my God. I tried giving them personal, private readings. I tried to do Zoom. I tried to do other ways of doing like classes where people could all get together online. Nothing worked. Even with Zoom, people would pay up front, and the night of the class, they wouldn't even show up, And so here, I mean, I felt bad because I had their money, and they didn't even show up for the class. They didn't get the class. So I had to keep, the idea was good, but I had to keep working on it until I saw something that would work. And then even when I did find something that worked, it was like universe saying, yeah, this works, but you gotta, there's another way. There's another way. You got to figure out another way. So, and it's going to be profitable for you, but you got to figure out your time and make your time, use your time with the most benefit. And so this was it. Who knows? Another month from now, it might be something else to make it better. I don't know. So the 7 of Cups. Your work is beginning to make progress. Yes, indeed. You can see that it is growing to be successful, and you're beginning to manifest the things you want in your life from this hard work you have put out. So yeah, there was a time when, I mean, things were tough. It wasn't easy to get it started. Whatever it was you were wanting to do. It could be working on a relationship. It could be a job. It could be a new business, anything. But whatever it is, this is a time when you are beginning to be dreamy about what's to come. Good example, I've been working on a book since 2009, off and on, not like every day, and have really had a hard time, like getting the foundation of it over the years. I would write and throw it away, write, throw it away. But something happened and I finally got the foundation and have been writing like crazy. And so now it's working and I've come a long way with it. And so now I'm like manifesting, like, who am I going to go to have it published? Am I going to go to a literary agent, or am I going to self-publish? So I'm just like already getting ideas, manifesting for the next step. And, just also manifesting like how successful I can be with this, and not struggle financially. So that's this card. I mean, she's made a lot of accomplishment, and now she's just thinking about all the things that she's going to reap after this thing works out for her. So anyway, that is it with the 7s. Now we're on to the 8s. So we have the 8 of Swords. I like the 8. I do like the 8s. We'll talk about the 8 of Swords first. You may have been feeling trapped into, remember, Swords is conflict. So this conflict may have been making you feel very trapped. But the 8 of Swords indicates that there is a way out of this feeling of entrapment. And you are beginning to find your way out. So if you notice, she is, the swords are conflict, but notice how the swords are separating. She's been bound to this conflict and has not been able to get clarity or figure it out. And now with the 8 of Swords, it's telling me that she's got some clarity now. And she is starting to unbound herself in the chains that she's been in for so long. She's finding a way out of this conflict. So that's a good sign that yes, there is a way out, and you are starting to release yourselves of the chains that has been holding you down. The 8 of Wands. Well, again, 8 of Wands is about work, And as you can see, the field here is really nice and pretty, and they may have gotten stuck on what to do next. You know, just like the book that I was telling you about, I've been stuck for a long time on how to create the foundation. And I got like writer's block. So this card could indicate that this person may have had like some sort of mental block in what to do next with whatever it is that they're working on. And all of a sudden, I mean, I remember what happened. I was in bed one night thinking about this book because everybody keeps telling me, oh, you got to write this book. This is a movie in the making. And I'm like trying to think. And I was thinking and thinking and couldn't seem to get it together. And then all of a sudden one night I was in bed and there it was, the foundation, everything. And I immediately started writing. And I'm like writing like the whole book is already like sketched out. Now I just got to write it, and which I've been doing. So this is the same thing here. It reminds me of when the Israelites were being led out of Egypt, and they had to move fast because when it was time to go, it was time to go. They didn't have time to stop and get their clothing. They had to go. And so this is like a release, you know, that all of a sudden that blockage has released itself, and now you have clarity. See, the clouds are starting to scatter out, and you're starting to get the clarity that you need to continue on with whatever work you're doing. So I love that card, and I can certainly relate to it here lately. The next one is the Eight of Cups. I like this card. It shows up a lot with women that are having difficulties. It is time to walk away. That's what this card means. You see how she's walking away? She's done. It could be anything. It could be a relationship, job, friendship, place you live, whatever. It's like when you're no longer being edified and you know that there's something else better for you, but the only way you're going to get to whatever is better for you is to walk away from the situation of what you're in. Again, it could be like a relationship or whatever. You have to be the one to make the choice to move on to bigger and better things. And if you can see here, I mean, the cups, yeah, the cups represent healing and all that good, you know, emotional stuff. But you see the pig, you know, the pig is not edifying her, and she's looking. The pig is even looking for her. There's just bigger and better things waiting for her, but you got to be the one to go for it. And you also, you know, a long time ago, I was in a really bad relationship. Oh God, it was the last relationship I was in. It was awful. And the guy that I was with, he was a functioning alcoholic, and I had met this woman. She and I were friends, and I was telling her about him. She was a recovering alcoholic too. And I was telling her the situation. I lived with this guy for like 2 years. And I was telling her the situation and some things about him. And she said, you got to get out of there. You can't live there. And I said, well, I don't have the money. I can't move out. She said, yeah, you can. You just have to trust that the universe is going to take care of it. And when you put one foot in front of the other, you trust that the universe will take care of you and that things are going to work out. And so sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. And often when this card shows up, yeah, you're taking a leap of faith. And because you know that where you're at, it's not edifying you and you've got to move on. So the Eight of Pentacles, Um, it's time to make a change, learn something new, uh, or to take your career into a different direction. Um, you've been, maybe you've been in a profession, a certain kind of profession for a long time, and the money is not really what you want. You're kind of strapped with money, and but you don't know what to do. So sometimes you have to like choose a different career, maybe the same career, but maybe you need to take a new path. So maybe you need to learn something that's going to take you to a new path in your career so that you can make more money and be happy. So this card tells me that you're starting to get some things together, learning some new things, thinking about furthering your education, doing whatever it is that you need to do to move into a direction of making more money. I think of people who are in the medical profession, and they may start out, like say for a nurse, she may start out as just a regular RN, but that's not satisfying her enough financially. So maybe she needs to be like a specialty, a nurse of some kind of specialty, a hospice nurse, or just go into a different field rather than just nursing. So I use that as an example. So anyway, I hope that helps. Our next lesson is going to be on the numbers 9 and 10. So I will see you in the next lesson. Okay? Bye-bye.